Cheers!
Sorry.
Oh! So loud by myself. That felt really weird and vulnerable.
Oh. Episode 143. Tonight we're reviewing Logan. So first things first, shout out to our wine sponsor, Wink. This is very appropriate. We picked this bottle because it has like a comic strip on it. Cute little label. Trywink.com/MovieBitches. You get $20 off your first month.
Logan.
Yes.
The latest Wolverine movie.
Sure.
This movie was really good.
This movie was really good. It was a little long.
It was a little long.
But like...
But I wasn't like, ugh, I'm bored. I was just like, okay, let's...
Sure. The thing that I liked the most about it was that it was like a human story.
Uh-huh.
The world wasn't exploding.
Nope.
It wasn't. It was like just escaping some really mean people.
Yeah, they
and
brought
like
it,
trying to live a family life.
They like stripped away all the bullshit.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated it.
I really appreciated it. The acting was phenomenal. It was really emotional and like heartfelt.
I like cared about multiple characters in this Marvel movie. Whoa.
I haven't said that since 2004.
Whoa. And even then, I don't think it was multiple characters. Like, I really
Sure.
liked Logan. I liked the daughter. Fucking love Patrick Stewart. Really liked Stephen Merchant.
Yeah.
And loved the villain. The second he was on screen, I was like, oh, you're great.
Yeah.
He looks like he's from Street Fighter. I'm sure he's like in the comics. I don't recall him. I think he's probably more outrageous in the comics.
Probably.
But like, he just had this vibe. And the whole time, he was really good, but I could definitely have seen Garrett Hedlund
doing that.
And I would have been.
But I thought he was I thought he was really good.
I wouldn't replace him because he was great.
No, exactly. Garrett Hedlund can have a different fabulous role, please. I was like, whoa.
I was into the action. I mean, this movie was rated R.
You remember when that family gets brutally murdered and it's all like Patrick Stewart's fault?
Super into that.
No.
That was kind of my biggest problem with the movie.
I mean...
That's when it veered off course. The movie's sort of like a chase and go, and then it takes like a real slowdown where it decides to make like a Monsanto, like...
What was that?
Like, oh, we need to take a stance on farming.
On corn syrup.
And I was like, what's this?
Well, so here's what I think it was.
Yeah.
I feel like I should just say right now, spoiler alert.
You've already spoiled everything.
Well, we're going to put this in front of all of them.
Okay.
I'm about to spoil a bunch of things because I just did it.
Yes.
So get ready because there's some spoilers ahead. I think what it was, because he said later on, and this was hard to, it was easy to miss.
Yeah.
He said like, oh, this is the man that killed all of the mutants.
Who says that?
The guy with the mechanical hand, the main villain or whatever, says that about the doctor guy.
Right. About Richard E. Grant, who is fabulous.
Yeah.
I love Richard E. Grant. Go watch all of the Scarlet Pimpernels that he is in because they are good. Really good.
So he's like, oh, this is the man that like killed all of the mutants.
Right.
And then he has this like kind of weird and hard to follow monologue about how he realized that by like changing what everyone eats, that you could affect them. And so basically my understanding was that he was infiltrating the food supply.
Okay.
And basically crippling and poisoning all of these.
Putting something into the food that would only affect mutants. Whoa, that was unclear.
Very unclear. But
that
so then
scene was still very much too long. That part was very like ham-fisted in for me.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of James Mangold movies where it's like overly stated.
Wait, which part was ham-fisted? The Monsanto corn syrup scene?
Like farming in America. Like that was very much like shoved in.
Yes. You know who should have written that scene? Taylor Sheridan.
Totally. Ooh.
Because the shots when they're like driving through these small towns and whatever kind of reminded me of Hell or High Water.
A little bit, yeah. It was also sort of shot like a Norman Rockwell painting. Like it was very idealized. Like it looked like they're on Dorothy's farm in Kansas.
Sure.
And you're like, okay. Anyway, he did Walk the Line. He did Kate and Leopold. the biggest.
Talk about plot holes.
The single biggest plot hole in cinema history. The single biggest incestuous plot hole in cinema history. And he did the remake of 3:10 to Yuma, which is terrible. It's awful. I hated it. Because the original 3:10 to Yuma is like one of the best westerns in existence. Absolutely amazing. It's everything. We'll talk about it. But the new 3:10 to Yuma was just like, we're gonna show you everything, and here it is, right in your face. And you were like, ugh. This was much better. I'm trying to think if that entire section had been taken out of the movie, we would have lost some emotional resonance, but would it have really affected the plot? Not really.
Well, how do you... I mean, like, and Patrick Stewart...
Oh, right, he does. Yeah, he does die. That's true.
I mean, like, and he kind of has to... Because, like, how do you bring him along?
A lot of things in this movie felt like, ooh, that seems overly complicated and unnecessary. You wrote around that. Like, so the first instance of this is they have to get this new young mutant. Of course, it's a Wolverine because it's an XMen movie. And they capture the main bad guy with the red glasses. They knock him unconscious. And then, in an inexplicably stupid decision, they don't just kill him.
Right?
And Hugh Jackman is like, hey,
go dump him in the...
albino, go like drive him away from here and leave him. And he's like, what if he wakes up before I get there?
Then
he's
shoot
like,
him.
Like, it seemed like it was like, and that needed to happen because he needed to not be dead because they needed to kidnap the albino.
Particularly,
he had murdered a bunch of people like 4 seconds ago.
Thank you. It's one thing if it's like, oh, I don't like violent, I don't want to kill anyone if I don't, like, whatever, fine. But, like, what? This guy's clearly vicious.
He had uppercutted someone through the face with his
claws. And just for denting his car. So, like, come on.
That was so weird.
It was so crazy.
And I was just like, what?
Oh my god, can we talk about Chrysler?
Did Chrysler sponsor this movie?
I think so. Chrysler, everywhere. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Chrysler. It was just lame. I had to pick it up.
It was. Yeah, he should have just murdered him. Right there and then. Like, oh, cool. You're unconscious?
Well, and then,
I'm going to murder you.
There was things in this movie that kept happening where I was like, why? Why are you doing that?
Particularly because it's like, okay, if he had just murdered him.
Yeah.
And been like...
Let's go to North Dakota.
Let's go to North Dakota. We're going to get the money, whatever.
Great.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh.
Oh, the four of us are on an adventure together.
Oh, no one's dead. So, like, I get that they needed the bad guy to still be alive, but then write it differently. Wait. We didn't talk about the opening of this movie that was from another movie.
Oh, God.
Whoa.
Oh.
So there was like a Deadpool fake out in this movie. Oh boy, it just reminded me that I'm glad I walked out of Deadpool.
I am so glad I never bothered to see any of it because Jesus Christ, I hated it. The movie starts.
I mean, it was like, oh, the movie's starting. Great.
Someone's in an alley and they're like, help me.
It's basically like the Batman out of the opera alley. That's like,
sure, exactly.
Whatever.
And then there's this guy walking and I was like, oh, Hugh Jackman's butt looks pretty decent. And because there's like tight-ish jeans. And then it's just like this stupid, ridiculous scene where he's in a phone booth changing and he puts his butt up against the glass and it's like blah, blah, blah.
Wasn't it hilarious?
No, it was stupid.
Well, the whole joke is that someone's being mugged and he's taking so long to change into his costume that the person gets dies.
Murdered. And then he sits and like hangs out.
And then he uses the dead body as a pillow. And it's hilarious. It completely validated all my feelings about the first 15 minutes of Deadpool and why I was like, I'm out, bye.
Yeah.
Nope, bye, nope. The only thing I can say that I'm glad Deadpool exists is it was the first and forever rated R comic book movie that made a fuck ton of money, and if that means it's going to open the way for movies like Logan to also be rated R but not be horrible, then I'm like, okay, you gave me that.
Sure.
Can we talk about Patrick Stewart?
He's great.
He was doing everything in the best way. He wasn't so much chewing the scenery.
No.
He was, looking at it.
Yeah, looking at it.
taking it in. He was
Sure.
taking in the scenery. I also really liked Stephen Merchant, who's the guy from Extras.
Right, yeah.
He's the agent. He's Ricky Gervais' agent.
Yeah.
He's really funny. I genuinely or generally like him. And this
He was
like
a serious role for him.
serious. The whole look of it, you know, he's got this very, you know, Tatooine thing going on. Like he was. I was like really sad when he died. Spoilers.
Yeah.
I was genuinely like, oh no, Stephen Merchant. Like I really thought he was gonna team up with them again.
I know.
And he didn't. I was bummed out.
This movie was a bit of a bummer.
It was, I would say it was like 10% too dark. Not even dark, but just like, I'm bummed.
Yeah.
But then it would be kind of crazy. Because it was so violent.
Right.
That I had to laugh almost at times. Like when she... So we haven't
Oh my god.
talked about her enough. She is a lady Wolverine, essentially.
A lady Wolverine.
Yeah, what'd you think I said?
A Blady Wolverine.
A lady Wolverine. A lady Wolverine. A lady Wolverine. She is a female...
A young female Wolverine.
And they talk about
how the female lionesses...
has claws on her front and her back. But the back ones never really came into play again after the first scene.
No, not really.
She fought a lot out of that.
Yes.
And never used it again.
That's true.
Just,
I would have loved some like real good like sidekicks where she's just like ah, like blades into someone's heart.
Yeah. I mean,
a good side roundhouse like cha.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That'd be great.
So she is just not fucking around.
No. She's like a feral ninja.
Yes!
And I loved it.
She's like
like jumping over his back and like, oh no, you okay?
I spilled, it'll happen.
Okay, cool. I would say like the nice thing, spoiler alert, the nice thing was that like at the end, while it was all pretty bleak,
sure,
you know, it was also nice that they set it up for like the next generation of XMen.
Right. Well, they had to. So it takes place in 2029, which makes Patrick Stewart 111, whatever it is.
Sure. Well, he did have a line about
he was like,
I'm fucking 90.
Well, just because, like, okay, if he's like James McAvoy's age during the Cuban Missile Crisis, right? Because that was First Class.
Yeah.
So what would he be in 2029?
Another 70 years.
So
he would have to be 20.
Yeah.
Or 20, in his 20s.
Yeah,
which I guess James McAvoy...
Anyway, it was just like, oh, okay.
Sure.
They laid a lot of groundwork so they didn't screw up the current timeline. Because, like, I don't even think Hugh Jackman at this point could tell you, like, the timeline of Wolverine. Like, the iteration. Like, there's been so many fucking disaster iterations of Wolverine. But they had to, like, not screw up the current one, right?
Yes.
And so they placed it in the future and just alluded to like something happening where they all died out and like whatever. And I'm sure that timeline
I guess that will fill
eventually
in. All of this Monsanto nonsense will fill in.
I don't know. Can we talk about Shane? Shane! I feel like James Mangold loves Westerns, but doesn't get what makes Westerns great. Based on 3:10 to Yuma.
And this movie.
And this. So basically, her and Patrick Stewart are sitting in a hotel room watching Shane. Well, they don't say it's Shane at first. They keep just being like, this movie is one of the best movies that's ever existed. Let's show a clip. And then they're like, I saw this movie back in the day. It was one of the best movies I've ever seen because it's great. Blah, 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 clip. And then I was like, oh, it's Shane. And then I was like, oh, fuck, this movie's just going to end like Shane? Oh, great, that's what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, somewhat. Shane's a little more ambiguous.
Okay.
Shane, have you seen Shane?
No.
The end of Shane, spoilers for Shane, he gives him that speech,
Sure,
that cross-eyed kid, he gives him the speech, and he's like, you know, go back home or whatever, and he rides off, and Shane at that point is like wounded, and you don't know, it's like a glass half full, half empty, like, does he just die or does he make it? You don't know. And he's like, Shane, come back! And it's like a whole thing.
You had to let him go.
He had to let him go, but he learned to love, because Shane is Wolverine.
I mean, I didn't mind the references. I just minded how heavy-handed it was.
Again, it's James Mangold.
She literally
gives the monologue from the end of Shane
as a eulogy
to his grave. Like, it was like, whoa.
As a you googly.
Whoa, guys. Like, whoa. That's how I feel about most James Mangold movies, where I'm like, this is good. What? Oh, ugh. No, it was still pretty good.
It was still pretty good.
Except Kate Leopold. There's no excuse for that.
Nope.
I do like this idea that, like, Professor X and Wolverine are gonna, like, spend their golden years, like, just being, like,
on a boat?
A curmudgeon-y odd couple on a boat.
Right.
Like, I was just like, yeah, I watched that movie. I did like, so at the end, it's this, you know, they're in the woods and they're fucking everybody up. Hugh Jackman is, like, juiced with some green stuff, and he's like, ah! And...
Oh my god, wait. And I saw a video today of him doing the ADR for that scene where he's running.
Stop.
It's hilarious. It's just like, this is amazing and hilarious. Love it.
There was a lot of... So he's sick the whole movie. He has poison. He's poisoned. I guess...
Is it from the things?
I guess what they were implying is over time, the adamantium is leaching into him finally and poisoning him. It was kind of unclear.
It was. Now, here's what I would like to know.
Yeah.
Is that what he thought was going on? But what in reality was going on was that this doctor had been poisoning everyone.
And over time...
And that's why, you know...
But
now,
then why is Professor X okay?
Still alive? I mean, it would affect people differently, I guess.
I guess, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I would have liked to know.
Like, if there had just been a thing where, even if he doesn't necessarily find out, but like the doctor gets the tests back or whatever.
Right.
Or
Something.
he has them and then he won't listen and he barges out and like we see the folder and it says like, oh, it's the...
adamantium poisoning. Whatever.
Or Monsanto, you know, whatever.
Monsanto poisoning. Et cetera, non-specific. Allegedly. We didn't talk about evil Hugh Jackman. Whoa.
That was weird.
That was like, what's this?
Yeah, right?
Like, I mean, it's a thing. Like, that's a thing.
Oh, okay.
Is in the other movies. I think he's called like X-23, I want to say.
24.
24?
Because he kept saying, 24, come back!
Oh, right, because he's 23. There's a whole... Because he shows up in the other movie and he's like being experimented on. Remember when he shows up for like 5 seconds in the last X-Men movie? Days of Future something? Whichever one
Days
came
of
out.
Future Past.
Wait, no, but there was one after that too, wasn't there?
X-Men.
I think we reviewed it.
We did. X-Men.
Apocalypse?
Yeah.
Apocalypse.
Yeah.
I think he shows up for like 5 seconds in Apocalypse. It's been confirmed.
Uh-huh.
This is the last Wolverine Hugh Jackman movie. Like, he's really dead. It's no...
Sure.
Superman, the rocks are floating. He is dead, but he's not. He's dead.
I mean, like, so he's not going to come back for any of the, like, it's not going to be like, oh, but this is 10 years prior.
Oh, apparently not. And he, like, took a pay cut so they could make it rated R.
Oh, interesting.
Like, it was, I think he was like, I need to end this right.
Yeah.
His arc of... It really came together at the end. And
yeah.
He has this moment where he's like, oh, this is what love feels like. Like, he finally has that.
Really sweet. And
it was, like, really sweet. And, I mean, if any...
Is that what that meant?
Yeah, he was like, oh...
Love.
And his heart grew 3 sizes. Like, he was like, I let it all in.
I thought he meant, is this what it feels like?
To die? Oh, maybe both.
You know, like, or like to, because like, he's always regenerate. You know, it's like, oh, I got hurt and I regenerated.
I'm going to say
maybe both.
I'm going to say both, which makes it even better.
To feel.
I mean, and if any X-Men character was going to have a rated R movie, because like Wolverine is like, not having it. Like, he was like saying fuck all the time. He was cussing. I was like, yes! I hope this, like, opens the door for this will shift and superhero movies can, like, be this.
At least
some of the time.
When appropriate.
When appropriate. This is the widest rated R, like, widest released rated R movie of all time.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is kind of crazy.
So, like, yes, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like, if this brings in an era of fucking, let's go back to the 80s gory rated R action movies, I'm here for it.
Also... Fuck the MPAA.
Yes, also that.
Did you ever see This Film Is Not Yet Rated?
No, but I really want to.
You really need to.
Like,
it was on Netflix. I don't know if it still is. It will make you very, very mad.
Like, I'm already mad about it and I haven't seen it.
It made me so mad. It's bullshit. But it's a really good movie. Anyway. Tear down the patriarchy.
Anyway, this is probably the best superhero movie I've seen in years.
Really good.
Very entertaining, action-packed. I was invested. I liked it a lot. There was a couple things that were just like a little bit too over the top and heavy-handed, but like not enough to ruin the movie at all.
Not at all. I really liked it.
Yeah.
Go see it if you haven't already. If you went through all of these spoilers, still go see it.
Yeah. That was such a dainty
It was like,
little...
boo-boo.